Good afternoon. At times, life can feel overwhelming. And I don't care if it's sunny outside or if it's snowing or if it's raining or if it's breezy. There are just certain times when we feel like the chips are stacked against us. We don't see a way out. Sometimes we can even feel like, I don't care how hard I try, this system is set up to defeat me. And I'm reminded of an Old Testament story. It's not a story, it's a piece of history, but it's one of the accounts in the Old Testament. It's about the Tower of Babel. And the people of the earth at that time all spoke one language, and they all sort of got together and said, you know what, let's all kind of throw our chips into the same pile and let's be on the same page and let's build something. And they built this huge tower. It's called the Tower of Babel. And it was a symbol of their unity. It was a symbol of their togetherness, if you will. And you always hear that. Since I was a kid, you always hear, oh man, let's come together. Let's give peace a chance. I mean, those are Beatles songs. Those are things that people want. And yet I tell you that human nature, I don't care where you went to school or how many degrees you've got or who you've been reading lately, but human nature is corrupt. Ever since the fall in the Garden of Eden, mankind, our nature, our sinful nature, is corrupt. And so when people all decide to get together on the same page, it goes that even the Lord, even God said, there isn't anything that this people won't be able to accomplish if they're all together on this. Now, God didn't mean that they were going to be able to overthrow his kingdom or usurp his power. That's not what that means. It means that there isn't anything wicked that this people won't do and won't get into if they're all together. And you know what happens when a certain group of people all get together that have a lot of power. In fact, human nature is almost on display no better than when somebody has real power. You've heard the expression, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. We just don't know how to handle it. And again, without wreaking havoc on ourselves, on the peoples around us, again, it has been a thing since time immemorial. Well, again, that's maybe not as encouraging, but God decided to disrupt the language of the human race at the time, and now all of a sudden there was this mass confusion and everybody went their separate ways. I say that to say this: God is still very much in control. It may look like, oh, these people are all starting to get into cahoots together, and sure, there could be some of that going on, but it's nothing to worry about because God is still God. He is still on his throne. And in fact, that leads me to the second thing I wanted to mention. And this was a sermon that Christ was giving in the New Testament. And he said to the crowds, consider the lilies of the field, who neither toil nor spin. And yet, I tell you that Solomon in all of his glory was not arrayed as one of these. I tell you what, if you don't think Jesus was God, all you have to do is hear him speak. All you have to do is read his words. No one spoke. No one ever spoke like Jesus Christ did. And basically what he's saying is, these flowers in the field, they don't work at it. They don't toil. They don't spin trying to look good. That's just how God made them. And yet, if God clothes the grass, if he dresses up the flowers of the field like this, so that even Solomon in all his pomp and splendor couldn't touch one of these, how do you think he's going to take care of us, his children? It says, oh, ye of little faith. It's a little bit of a rebuke. Like, look, don't you know that I'm in control? Don't you know that I'm in control of every last detail? Please. God is telling us, please, I am in control. Make no mistake. You may see all the dark armies of the world gathering together, but God is still in control. Never doubt that. Have a good week.